So it's going live as we speak. Ding, 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 ding. I'm alive. See it now if anybody's been on the thing there. And you can see us on YouTube in the search block. You can put in my call, K4PEW, or you can put in Brain Trusts. That's the channel, BRAINTRUSTS. You can see, again, you can see us on YouTube. You can see us on our normal or abnormal website, as you deem appropriate name, on the 146415.net. And that's 146415.net. Should be easy to remember. Or you can send me an email at k4pew@arrl.net, or you can look on our groups.io net, which is the email distribution site for reminders and information. And it's groups.io, India Oscar, and you can just search for MJSS, like Mount Juliet Simplex Society. We normally meet at 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday night, and lots of activity on the year in between. The purpose of the net is support and train ham radio operators to have fun, really. Ultimately, we become good operators with better antennas, better stations, and we also have a lot more fun when there's somebody to talk to. Some announcements tonight. Today's activities are, number one, this is net number 550. We're starting from the north. Also, we're doing the 2-meter net, of course, here. We're followed up by the buy-sell swap and swindle net, since it's Saturday, and then followed by the 144.240 upper sideband net to follow that. So also today's Saturday, so we've got some notices coming out about the nets on the following Tuesdays and Thursdays. And yeah, so you'll get those. If you're on the list, you'll get the notifications and reminders. Does anybody have any other announcements? All righty, lots of those. Well then, very good. We'll start taking check-ins from what I tell you, from the north for January 4th, 2020, our second net of the year. By the way, we had a great net last week. It was 29. I think everybody should have had the notice, but there was 29 people on the net, and then there was another 10 on the sideband net. So it was quite a lot of activity. Anyway, let's get started. From the north, please come down. Hey, hold on, Mark. You got a comment there, Michael?
Yeah, we started from the north last time.
I don't know. The first, I have east. Did I screw up?
No, I'm sorry. I flipped over 2 pages. I'm sorry. That was my mistake.
Oh, man. You get 2 demerits, whatever they're worth.
About $20.
Yeah. I'll let you buy me a virtual cup of coffee tonight. How's it?
You got it, buddy.
All right. Start. Well, Mark, how you doing?
Doing good. Watching the game, not paying any attention to you anyway, so have a good day.
Ah, very good. Well, I'm glad. Which game are you watching?
Titans in New England.
Oh, yeah. I don't watch hardly any football. I watch some replays once in a while, but nothing fancy. Who's winning, by the way? Is Titans doing any good?
Yeah, it's 10-7 now, New England, but we look pretty good.
Well, you know what they say. Any team can beat any other team on any given day.
Roger that. Well, have a good evening. WB0.
Very good, Mark. By the way, a slight buzz in your signal. You're aware of that?
I have what?
There's a slight hum, almost like a 60-cycle hum on your signal.
Well, I, of course, don't hear it here, but I know what it is, probably. Does that make any difference?
No.
I don't know. I'll look into it later.
All right, very good. So I'd let you know. No sense trashing up the airwaves with a bad signal, right?
Roger that.
No, it's not that bad. It's just a very, very slight, almost, it sounds like 60 cycles. All right, very good. That was Mark. Whiskey Bravo 0, November, Oscar. He's near the weather station, the National Weather Service, up in northwest Mount Juliet. Who else north? Please come down. Anybody else north? I heard somebody click in there. Who is that? I got no audio, just the carrier, no audio whatsoever. I'll jump back in there when you get that fixed. Anybody else north?
I got it fixed.
Okay, man, what are you doing?
Well, my speakers blew in my studio or in my shack, so I am disassembling the top shelf of my shack, and I used a different mic, and I didn't have it on. But my speakers are a mess. I think I told you this. I was using my HT in my studio, and the antenna got close to one of the speakers, and smoke started coming out of the tweeter.
Yeah. Tell you what, you may not want to be on this net. Let's see. Last net, your hard drive crashed.
I know that happened again too. I'm not sure what that is. It doesn't crash. It just there's two hard drives in there. They both just go offline, and no amount of turning off and rebooting, even powering down, unplugging, letting it sit for 10 minutes does anything until I take the cover off and reseat the cords. So I don't know. Somebody said it's the cord, but both hard drives are doing it. So it's not a cord. And the chances that it's two cords at once are pretty slight. But anyway, good net. Glad to be number 2. I don't know if I've ever been number 1, but I was number 2. Back to net, Paul. Thank you. W9BOQ.
Yeah, very good, Dennis. That was Dennis, Whiskey 9 Bravo Oscar Quebec, and he's in Castellian Springs. Good signal as always, and with the computer woes as always. Anybody else north? Please come down. All right, we'll go over to the west and west of Mount Juliet. KN4 TJF. Rick, how you doing? I hear Michael told me earlier that you were going to come over to his house and make him fix that antenna.
You are correct, Paul. I'm going to take my ball bat over there and sit in that chair until it's done.
Well, you sound good though. I mean, you don't really need it from me, but I think with that Yagi, you're going to hear people a lot better, on the other side of me.
Oh, absolutely. I'm really chomping at the bit to get that thing going, man, because I think it's just going to help me a lot, and it's really gracious of him to help me and to do these things for his brother.
Oh man, come on, man! You just can throw. He's a brother. You can throw a guilt trip on him.
Yeah, I'm trying to opposite approach this time, Paul. Let me work it, okay?
All right. Well, very good, Rick. You're doing fine, really, to me. So I'm anxious to see how it sounds with the Yagi. That was Rick, KN4 Tango Juliet Foxtrot. He's in Ashland City, working to get a Yagi up here in the next little bit, which will be fun to have. Just he'll get a much better receive. I can hear him fine. There might be some people far southeast of me and east and maybe northeast of me that can't hear him, but I'm sure that's going to improve. All righty, who else? West?
KM4YRF.
Hey. Oh yeah, well, so you had it. I double check on when we start and where we what doesn't always work for me.
Yeah, I heard that conversation.
Yeah, I know, no big deal. It is nice to keep track though. I mean, it's good to be accurate. We could just play it by ear and just throw out numbers. This is a net number of 4,320.
Hear that?
I don't think I lived quite that long.
Well, let's see you survived the trip.
Yeah, it was a little rough. Partly the roughness was it rained most of the way over for 400 miles and most of the way back 400 miles, and the trip back at night was also rainy and fog, so made it a little more precarious. And we're hauling, nearly with the trailer it was about 2 tons. So.
Well, wow, that was a trip.
Yeah, it was. Well, I wasn't driving. I mean. Robin ably handled that stuff. In fact, I just sent out a notice a few minutes ago. It showed a picture of the tower and a picture he sent me that he took of me cranking the tower up with a chain hoist. So you'll see you'll get a picture of that if you haven't already seen it.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to look for it now.
Oh, yeah, by the way, the picture looks like I'm smiling. It's really I'm wincing.
Yeah, I'll bet. guess I've got nothing else, so I'll say back to net.
All right, very good. So that's the benefit of being on the email list. You get to see pictures of me. I mean, it's a real plus. Anyway, that was Michael, Kilo Mike for Yankee Romeo Foxtrot. He's in Bellshire. Who else west? Hello, Jeff. What's up?
Just hanging out, playing radio. That's about it.
Well, it's a good night to do it. It's nice and cool outside.
It is. It could be worse, but it is a little bit chilly.
When you're working, obviously there's one of the hazards of doing your job is every time that door opens, you get a blast.
Oh yeah, it's cold air or hot air. I'm used to it.
I bet you in the cool weather though, you don't dress lightly.
No, well, I just wear my jacket. I'm out because I'm always getting hit with cold air, but I stay comfortable.
Oh, I'm sure you do, and plus you're kind of used to it.
Yeah, it's not open that long, and it's not really that bad.
Do they give you a heated seat?
We don't have that luxury.
You would think they would, actually. You know that it's not that tough to put a heated seat in such an expensive vehicle.
Yeah, well, they have pretty good seats in them now. They didn't used to, but now they do, where you can adjust them up, support your back and everything a little better, so it's not so fatiguing to be in one a long time. But I don't think they ever go to the heated seats. I don't foresee that as being extra expense they don't want to have to deal with.
Makes me wonder. I wonder if they use heated seats up in like Boston and Buffalo and Chicago.
That's possible. Maybe somewhere up in Minnesota. It's supposed to be, I think, the most northernmost state. Like, is it International Falls is one of has some of the coldest temperatures.
Well, I know that Minneapolis, and I spent a few weeks up there when I had two corporate offices I worked for. They were up in Minneapolis, St. Paul area. And when we go one summer, I went there in December. It was the first or second week in December for 2 weeks. And left Florida, it was 72 or 3 degrees, something like that, in the first part of December. And I got there, it was -3.
That's a major switch. There's some extreme temperatures out there that get to the negatives. Man, I know it gets spin to the negatives here, I think back in '92 we had a cold, about 3 to 4 days of negative temperatures, -0 temperatures. And when it got to the 20s, almost felt like a heat wave.
Yeah, I bet it did. You're right, it would. I mean, I grew up in a cold climate. So it wasn't as bad as Minneapolis, though. Minneapolis, St. Paul, and the upper part of Minnesota, and all those areas up close to the Canadian border, they get those really. But what's bad is when it's -3, and even with a 15 or 20 mile an hour breeze or gusts, you don't want to be sticking your head out the window of the car.
And wind chill will get you every time. It's cause some major frostbite.
Yeah, no, that's true, but it's funny because it's those, if you lived up there your whole life, like in Minneapolis, yeah, you're prepared for it, you live with it, you're used to it. If you take somebody who lived in Nashville their whole life and stuck them up there for a week without proper clothing or attire, it would be murder.
Yeah, it'd be an extreme shock to them. Or take someone from up, say, you live in Florida, so you know how that is. Down the southern part of Florida, around Key West, take them up that area for a few days to see what happens to them.
Yeah, no, it's horrible. It really is. When I first went up there to visit, I said, "Why do people live here?" Well, anyway, that was Jeff. Good signal out of Madison, and that's Whiskey Yankee 4 Golf, and he's got a great signal. Good to have you in there, Jeff. Yeah, go on strike for heated seats. That's what you need. Heated seats. Who else west?
KB9OCD.
Hey, how are you doing? You out on the road or are you at home tonight?
Nope, we're at home. Not a problem. We just sort of taking the weekend off there. The boss went to Chicago for a daughter's birthday, a surprise birthday, and I said I was going to stay behind for the animals.
How many do you have at the house, Greg?
Got 2 Shih Tzus.
Are they spoiled?
No, they're not spoiled at all. Maybe I'm spoiled by them, but no, they're spoiled. They're spoiled rotten. I'm here to tell you.
So rotten they can't even be left at the kennel, huh?
Oh no, that would be, you don't take your kid to a kennel, so I can't take mine to a kennel.
Well, we had 7 dogs at one time, so leaving town was a very expensive proposition. Yeah, and the one time I think it was only 4. I forget how many we left in the kennel. We went out for a trip for a few days and we came back. And the one dog was always over the top excited to see you, when you come back. We were at the veterinary that has the kennel, and they brought him out. He was so excited. He was jumping on the wrong person. It wasn't me. It was another guy standing there.
Just probably glad to see somebody different than the staff at the veterinarian office.
No, it was just funny. I'm like, hey, dude, it's me. I'm over here.
Yeah. You do get attached to them, and they do get attached to you, and sometimes they really get excited when you've been gone for a bit. They pull that off every time I walk in the door. The wife will leave the side door open. They'll see my truck come down the street. The wife says they start barking until I get into the house.
Oh wow! But today yesterday was a funny one because we went out and Robin K4 IDC went out to Virginia. Left at 5 in the. I left the house at 4:30 or so in the morning. And, went to his place, and then we drove up to Virginia, 401 miles, and picked up a tower and brought it back. So we were back by midnight last night. And when I walked in the door at midnight, the dogs. It was like I was gone 2 weeks, not 15 hours.
Oh yeah, mine does the same. Just like you, I can just leave the house, then turn around and come back an hour later, and they're just as excited then as if I've been gone for 2 days.
Yeah, they just figure you forgot to leave, and they're just so thrilled you changed your mind.
Yeah, they're good puppies. I don't know what we'd do without them. They've been a lot of fun, and a lot of pleasure, and a lot of company.
Well, they're also smart dogs, aren't they?
I think so. I think they're very smart. I got one of them I have to be on a leash because she likes to terrorize the neighborhood once in a while. Not all the time, but every now and then she'll like to terrorize. So I keep her on a leash. Well, I've got her trained to where if she gets her leash around an object or something, I'll tell her to go around and she'll come around and come out straight with the leash. So yeah, I think they're pretty smart. And they know what bark or what to do to get whatever they want.
I got you. Well, I'll just leave you with this little bit of wisdom. It's that, if you've probably noticed it, the dogs take on the character of their owners.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
All right, we'll catch you later, Greg. Yeah, good to have you in there. I'm glad you enjoy the net. Yeah, as you can tell, we have a lot of fun if you haven't figured that out by now. Anyway, that was Greg. He is in Pleasant View, Kilo Bravo 9, Oscar, Charlie Delta, and a good signal from Pleasant View. Who else? West.
Contact.
Go.
You know why a dog is better than a wife?
And I've seen that, but I don't remember which. There's several answers to that.
The later you come home at night, the happier they are to see you.
Yeah, that's true. And they don't care if your breath smells of alcohol either.
Bingo.
Yeah, I don't drink, so it wasn't applied to me. I don't come home late anyway. Yeah, like last night I did, walk in at midnight. All right, very good. Who else? West. West of Mount Juliet, west of Wilson County, even west of over there towards way west of Davidson County.
71 KLM.
Whiskey 1, is that Kilo Lima Mike? Isn't that what it is?
Whiskey 1 Kilo Oscar Mike.
Oh yes, how are you? I'm sorry, I misheard that call.
I usually slur it together, so I have more me than you.
I don't know. If I'm slightly distracted, Glenn, I sometimes mishear things, and it's only because I'm not paying attention.
I know that is. I'm always doing too much time on the radio at the same time, so it's all good.
Well, in my case, I'm trying to write things down and I'm looking at the screen, or I'm trying to listen. So I got three things going on, and I also have to be careful to because I'm using a hand, push to talk in my hand, and it helps very helpful to have a boom mic in this case because I don't have to keep holding up a mic, which is kind of nice.
Oh, sure, yeah, definitely in your case. You definitely want that. I've been thinking about getting a headset myself. I think it's easier doing that.
Well, the only problem with headsets, and this is I bought the nice one that Heil has, the Pro, whatever it is, Pro 9 or whatever. And the only problem with that is it's such a good headset. When you put it on, your house could be on fire and all the alarms could be going off. You wouldn't hear it.
Yeah, I run that with another headset. I know exactly what you're talking about there.
Very good. Well, Glenn, good to have you in there. That was Whiskey 1 Kilo, Oscar Mike, and that's Glenn. He's in Nashville. Excuse me, with a great signal. Who else, West? KN4 Zulu Bravo Yankee, correct?
Yes, sir. Roger.
Hey, how you doing, Roger?
Oh, pretty good, man. Being late, finally, things have calmed down around here. Got a chance to turn the radio on and relax.
Yeah, I don't remember your signal. Has it been low before? Because I don't remember, because it's a little low out of Nashville. Which antenna are you using?
Oh, I just got a J-pole stuck up back here.
Well, that explains it all. J-poles are the lowest form of life other than a handheld.
Yeah, it's a little better than that quarter wave I was using. I can hear more people on this, but it's still not where I want to be.
Well, just I don't know where you have it located. Where is that one now? Where do you have it sitting, Roger?
It's off the back of the patio here. It's probably about 20 feet up in the air. I got about 50 feet of feed line on it.
Oh, I don't. The feed line at that distance is going to be real, critical. But if you can get your hands on at least a 5/8 wave ground plane, I bet you at that same height, I bet you'd be surprised how much better it is than that J.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I was looking at the Diamond X200. You got any opinions on that one?
Well, I'm seeing you're right in the middle there in Nashville, and I don't know where are you in a reasonable elevation where you are?
Don't quote me. I looked it up once. I want to say I'm at about 420 feet.
Yeah, that makes it. That's one of the problems with Nashville. It's down. Most of it's down near the river level, which is pretty darn low. But really, any of those diamond verticals are great. They're going to outperform that J-pole by a lot.
Oh yeah, the real reason I just built this one just to see if I could. It would actually work. It's slightly better than what I had. But yeah, I'm looking at that Diamond 200. I may pick that up.
Well, it depends on what your goals are. I mean, I saw that if you wanted to, let me qualify that. If you wanted to be only a single band antenna, or you had two different antennas you wanted to use, just with like an antenna switch or whatever was convenient for you, some of the 2-meter antennas that Diamond and Comet make that are single band, for 2 meters, they're going to be much better than what I just told you, that 5/8 wave, or even the X2 that 200. If you look at the ratings, just take a look at Diamonds and Comet, and there was somebody else too. I think it was Hustler. They also make a 2-meter only that has a fantastic gain on it because it's only a single band antenna.
Single band would work for me because this is just a 2-meter radio that I'm using that would work.
Well, I'd certainly consider it. And I was hearing some fellas on the radio, and I was of a similar opinion that 70 centimeters is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it ultimately, but it just has there's so little activity on 70 centimeters, and most of it is in the repeaters, so you can get away with hitting all the repeaters that you want to, like on the M-Tiers network. Usually with a handheld or a very, like having a J-pole, it's easy to get to them. So I'm suggesting that if you're looking for a 2-meter only and you want that, you can get a much better antenna for the money, even in the. In fact, I had the. Hold on, let me look right quickly. The Diamond has a. Let me see. Here's a Diamond It's a monoband 2-meter antenna, and it has got a 6.7 gain. It's an F22A is the model of that antenna. F22A, if you want to look that up. And I don't know the price on it, but I'm guessing it's cheaper or about the same price as that dual band, and you get more gain out of it.
Copy that. I just wrote it down. I'll look that up, Paul.
Yeah, I'll have to look at it myself on the price because it really I'm well, I've already got a a very nice, too expensive antenna, so I'm not going to buy another one for 2 meters. I just noticed that I noticed, wow, you can get a decent antenna for 2 meters only that'll really kick butt in most circumstances over a cheaper dual band. Anyway, Roger, it's good to have you in there. That's Kilo November 4 Zulu Bravo Yankee. Hope anybody else got some insight into antenna issues there. At least my opinion of them. Anyway, that was Roger, and he's in Nashville with a good signal on a J pole. I'm not sure everybody could hear him, but he's working towards getting something better, as most of us do who jump into this net. Who else, West?
November 4, don't juggle turtles.
Hey, how you doing, Don?
I'm doing pretty good in that, Paul. I just literally woke up from a nap. I took a snooze and rolled out of bed. I'm like, oh, can I check out the net? I did pretty good. I got the shack in some semblance of order finally. I've got a place for everything. Maybe not everything is actually in its place, but there's a place for it. I got some more shelving coming for my racks and sort of wires and interconnecting cables that I was missing. So they're all in order. It'll be here Tuesday or Thursday at the latest. So every one of my radios and every piece of auxiliary equipment will have power to it and be connected by the end of the week.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I don't know if you get a chance, take a look at that picture that Robin took of that 70-foot crank-up tower that we brought back to Tennessee.
Oh, nice. Groovy. Whose weapon is that going to be?
Oh, it's going to be his. He got it. It was damaged in I guess, a tornado of some kind. And there's a crank-up tower with damage, and the guy said apparently said, go come and pick it up. Of course, picking it up meant getting a 20-foot trailer and hauling it up and back, and so it wasn't an easy task getting it up off the ground. And it was laying on the ground when we picked it up, but had to put up a gantry and get it onto the back of the trailer. And I've even got a video follow-up because his house is way up on this hill, very big hill, with a 1-lane road. The driveway's about maybe 3/8 of a mile long, twisting through the hill with S-curves, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, these things aren't no joke. They're heavy. And no fun to move around. But well, that's cool, man. Congratulations to him getting the tower. And probably pretty nice one once he gets his fixed, depending on how bad the damage is.
Well, he is, I think, planning on putting it up at a future time and a future location, not necessarily, because he's got 3 towers now, and I don't know that he needs any more tower than he's got.
Yeah, no, Roger, I could probably put in I could probably sneak another one on this lot, but it'd be pretty tight, and I got 2, and still not even got them fully up yet. So yeah, I hear you. But that's cool, Dylan. Good for him.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, the guy he had I don't know what his antenna farm included, but this tower he had, I don't even know what he had on it, but there were remnants of some kind of a beam, and there was also remnants of some kind of a very large hex beam like you had.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, tornado makes short work of those pretty quickly. And I don't know how long I'm going to have this large hex beam up. We'll see. I'm getting kind of annoyed with it, but that's a whole other story for another time.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I understand they're a bear to get tuned up properly and adjusted, but I have enough trouble with my wires, let alone having a multi-element huge hex beam. So anyway, I hope you have good luck with that, Don. I'm not going to be any help to you on that, though. You're going to have to figure that one out yourself. That's November 4 Delta Zulu. I'm sorry, November 4 Delta Juliet Tango. He's over in Bon Aqua with a good signal, working on getting a lot of wire and antennas up in the air. Who else, West? Anybody else, West? Down to the south.
Kilo November 4, Mike Baba Vic.
Hello, Terry. You doing any good today?
Yeah, doing pretty good there, Paul. Sound like you had a little experience of what I do ever so often.
Yeah, well, this was, you probably see that more often than I, because I don't drive at night. That'd be a rarity. And I know that Robin doesn't usually drive at night, but the ride back from, what the heck is the name of that town? The one out there in I mean, it's, it's 400 miles. It was mostly raining, not heavy rain, but rain and fog, stints of fog all the way back from, well, most of the way back from Virginia, Floyd, Virginia, that's the name. It's over near southwest of Roanoke, a few miles. But yeah, foggy and rainy and road work and lots of trucks and dragging a big trailer behind us.
Yeah, I hear you. I know where you're coming from there. Like I say, that fog is one of the worst things as far as I'm concerned that you can be in with driving. You know what ice is, you know what snow is, and all that. But when that fog, when you can't see, or white out in the snow, both of those are pretty bad dangerous. Glad y'all made it back okay. Everything went okay on that. But anyway, I'll let you go ahead and carry on so you can get through earlier tonight. We don't want you to have another one of those hour and a half ones, So anyway, send me three to everybody. Everybody have a good weekend, and heading back to you there, Paul.
Yeah, very good. Good to have you in there, Terry. That's Terry in Murfreesboro. That's Kilo November for Mike Papa Victor. Yeah, he's very familiar with being a professional semi driver, making trips to Tupelo, I guess 5 nights a week. So he knows exactly the perils of being on the road with us amateurs. Who else? South, please come in.
K4, TYJ.
There's another professional. How you doing, Jim?
Oh, I'm doing good. Good evening, everybody. We're back home. Back home from Florida today, and good to be back home.
Hey, where was the ceremony for your son's reenlistment? Where did they put them?
It was at the NSA, Jack.
No, I mean, was it inside one of their drill halls or something?
Oh, no, we just had it right inside the Flightland Cafe as command is where he worked at.
Ah, cool. Yeah, I just wonder. Sometimes they do that in a big. I mean, were there a lot of people showing up?
No, just he didn't want no big thing. He just said me, his wife, my wife, and his kids, and just the people he worked immediately with. So it was nice.
Okay. I know sometimes they do that with if there's like in big commands. Sometimes they put everybody together for the reenlistment ceremony.
No, this is just small. It was funny. They had to discharge him first before they reenlisted him. He goes, "Now you want to say anything?" Nope, I'm good. Let's get this over with.
Yeah, I know that's a standard procedure. You have to be discharged from your current enlistment and you're re-enlisted. I always wondered if anybody said, "Nah, I changed my mind. Goodbye."
Yeah, run. Nah, it was nice, and we walked around NSA Jacks for a little bit, got some pictures and looked at some airplanes and some helos and stuff like that. So it was interesting. We had a good time. Visited Jacksonville Zoo, and that was fun.
Is it a big zoo?
Yeah, they got all the cool animals. They got the elephants, and giraffes, and tigers, and lions, and rhinos, and things I don't remember.
Yeah, zoos can be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, you don't realize how big our rhinoceros is until you standing, above one, looking down at him. Oh my God, that's a massive animal.
Oh, I know, man. It's amazing that something can be that big and still walk around.
Oh yeah, it's boggling. You see videos of the rhinos getting upset and destroying cars and stuff. Hell, they're bigger than a car. So yeah, it's it's not so hard to imagine them destroying a car once you see one in person. I just don't get out much, so I don't get to see a lot of rhinos in person. But I did find it fascinating.
Oh yeah, it was the same way with hippos. It's just that they're slower, and I don't think there is a notorious.
I heard hippos got a mean disposition also. So again, another animal you don't want to poke fun at.
I don't know. You need to look it up on YouTube. There's a family. I think it's in Africa. I'm kind of presuming it is, and they have a hippo that actually comes into the house to eat.
Oh wow, wouldn't be my house. But yeah, the drive from Jacksonville and back was pretty much uneventful. Traffic around bottlenecks. You know, you get to the 75-24 split around Chattanooga was a little tight. But other than that, it was pretty much clear sailing. A couple slowdowns, so took us a little longer than we wanted. But other than that, it was a pretty uneventful ride.
Oh, is that when you rented the car for that rather than taking the bike?
Yeah, it was a good thing we did because you know, we had gifts to take down and you know, and gifts to bring back, and you know, it just this time of year it's so unpredictable. There was actually sleet and freezing rain for a little bit coming north Georgia.
Oh yeah. Well, wise move this time of year. I think it was just like we didn't hope. I was hope we were actually hope. It was great with like that trip we just took. If you haven't looked at the email, we were expecting to have rain all day, up taking going and coming and going, and it was rainy. It was rainy, both coming and going. But while we were on top of this big hill, it's not really a mountain. It was drizzling and light mist, so it was like a. And I was in a t-shirt because it was too uncomfortable. I was too warm working with a jacket on, so it was just uncomfortably cool and wet.
Oh, great combination. But anyways, it's good to be back home. Enjoyed the few days in Florida, but no, definitely good to be back home here in Tennessee. I'll let you get back to that KE for it, TYJ.
Yeah, very good. That was Jim. He's in Woodbury, and that's Kilo Echo 4 Tango Yankee Juliet. He was just down celebrating and seeing his son not graduate, but re-enlist in the U.S. Navy. He's got a career going there. It's good to have you in there, Jim. I'm glad you made the trip all right. Who else, South?
Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor.
And we were just talking about where you used to work yesterday when I was in the car with Robin about that that testing, the tunnel site, the wind tunnel.
Yeah, we blowing up.
Oh man, I just can't. I'd love to. Do you have any pictures of that?
Yeah, I'll bring them next breakfast if I don't forget it.
Yeah, if you would, I'd love to see that because I can't. It's hard for me to envision what you guys did there. It's huge.
Oh yeah, it's big.
All right, very good. That was Larry. He's in Rockville. Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor. Good signal. He worked in a testing facility for testing aircraft, and I think among other things, I'm not sure what, but maybe he'll tell us at the next breakfast. Who else south? Anybody else south? Please come in.
W4EBX.
You decided to be a southerner this time?
Yeah, I can be an easterner or a southerner.
All right. How you doing, Eddie?
I'm doing very well. I was just wondering if we could somehow get a list of people who have Fusion and D-Star and maybe select a channel to where, maybe a Simplex channel where we could talk on.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I can put up a little thing on there and ask people to identify so that they know. Or if you'll do this, do even better. We'll pre-plan it for me and tell me what frequency you want to use on D-Star. And we've already got, I think Dennis is working on one for Fusion. So we've got those two right there. And if somebody wants to do a DMR, but I don't know how many people have DMR. But do that. If you just pick a frequency and we'll just post it that way, and those who are interested can jump in.
Okay, well, I can tell you that D-Star calling frequency is 145.67.
All right. So you just would want to start there, or would you want to pick another frequency to just have a regular net or meeting place for D-Star?
Okay, there's a few of us that listen and talk. This is probably the one that you can listen to. 146.535.
All right. Very good. In fact, I'll post it that way. And if you guys decide to have a regular net on a regular time on a regular week, just let me know, and we'll send out that information as well.
Yeah, and that would be, that would be a good thing, so we can test our radios a little bit better.
Well, one of the problems I've noticed is, and I've been in ham radio about 15 years, and I heard about D-Star the first month I was in, and I was in no business to buy an expensive D-Star radio 15 years ago. But what I was going to say is that I heard it from many people then, they got a D-Star radio and they got rid of it, or they don't use it because there was nobody to talk to. And that's partially the reason, I started the net. And that's what people need to do if they want to have somebody to talk to. You got to get people regularly on the air.
Yeah, well, that'd give the D-Star users place to try the radios and antennas out, make sure they work. Same with diffusion. I guess y'all could select a channel or something like that too.
Oh yeah, no, that's like we've done. We've already done that, and well, at least Dennis has. He picked one. But anyway, we're going to go from there, and I think that's good. We're going to promote more and better use of the radios we do own, because it really does stink to own a radio and you're not, you can call out and there's nobody to talk to on Simplex. Yeah, you can talk into some of the repeaters. I don't think there's any D-Star repeaters left, are there?
There was one in Nashville. I don't know if it's down right now. I don't know why it's down, but surely somebody put one up there pretty soon, maybe.
Yeah, wishful thinking on your part. There used to be a couple. No, there was supposed to be one in Williamson County, and I never heard it coming up. And the one in Nashville was run by the Nashville Club. At least they had their club call on it. Whiskey for CPO, or no, K4 CPO, I believe it was K4 CPO. And but then I heard they took it down for some reason, or it is down, or it's not working, or but anyway, see that's what's wrong is repeaters become the crutch, and then when they go down, nobody's talking, and that's why a net is so critical.
That's very true. And I think you can get like a spot, go on. We'll see how it goes. And thanks for doing the net, Paul.
All right, very good. That was Eddie, Whiskey 4 Echo Bravo X-Ray, and he's over in Gladeville. Who else south? Anybody?
KN4PQX.
Hey, Joey. How are you? Do you like this nice soggy weather?
Oh, I don't really like the soggy. I was at the shooting range earlier, and it was freezing, and then it started snowing.
What time was that?
I think I left around like 11, maybe 11:30. I got back around like 2:30.
Yeah, did you notice that it was more like that little tiny balls of snowflakes?
Yeah, they're just little flakes, but I was like, oh man, it's starting to snow.
Oh yeah, no, I noticed that somewhere around 10:30 or so this morning. I opened up the door, was messing with the dogs, and I said, hey, it's 44 degrees, and we got these little, they're actually called grapple that come down. That's what that's called, those little tiny, almost round flakes.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, look it up. I'm not even sure I'm saying it, but it's either, I'm pretty sure it's grapple, Groppel or something like that, but I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up again. I haven't looked it up in years. But you never hear that term. You just figure it's tiny snowflakes,
Snow light.
That's right. They almost look like soft, tiny, almost like hail, because they almost look round when you see them coming down.
Yeah, I can see that. Somewhere between hail and snow, I guess.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means, truthfully, other than it doesn't really collect much. It's just that really light, stupid stuff. Anyway, 44 and snowing was weird to me, too, though.
Well, using that word makes you sound smart, so that's something.
Yeah, I guess. I could have just made it up. You don't know.
Hey, either way, you sounded smart, so I guess that's kind of the point there, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right. Sounds smart until somebody says, hey, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. All right, Joey, it's good to have you in there. Hope you do well in school in this next semester, which is coming up shortly. That's Kilo November for Papa, Quebec X-Ray. He's down there, Percy Priest, west of Mount Juliet Road, about 5 miles south of me. Who else south?
Grapple is correct.
I was right. How's it? PLE or EL?
I don't know. I just looked it up about 6 months ago, or about a year ago.
Cool. See, we're doing a weather enlightenment tour here on the air.
Now you sound even smarter.
Well, I've managed to fool somebody. All right, very good. Anybody else? South, please come in.
The key word is it sounded.
That's right. It's all in the presentation. Go ahead.
Yes, Terry King for MPV. I just wanted to tell Eddie that I'm hearing him real well on all the stuff, improvements he's done on his station there in Murfreesboro. I used to couldn't even hear him at all.
On Eddie?
Yeah.
You were having trouble hearing Eddie in Murfreesboro?
Yeah, the one that was just on before.
Oh, you mean Joey? You mean
No, Eddie.
W4UBX Eddie?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you couldn't hear him down there.
No, every now and then I can hear him a little, but I can hear him much better when he got that antenna up higher. I think he changed his antenna and everything, didn't he?
I don't know about that. Eddie, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Before we get.
Did you change anything on your antennas recently?
They just got cold.
I don't think he changed anything, Terry.
Well, he's sure coming in a lot better here. I could usually, sometime he wouldn't hardly break the squelch.
Huh, because Eddie gets out on the good. He's got a tower with a reasonably good elevation, I'll tell you. You should be able to pick him up fine.
Okay, well, I don't know what it was, but anyway, carry on there. Sorry for the break in. KN4APV.
Oh, that's all right. That's what we're here for. Who else south? Please come down. K4ID. I'm so surprised you didn't go to bed.
I'm about to try to put my car back together. Then I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Yeah, I survived. We survived the trip. That was I'm glad you were doing the driving.
Man, that was a long day. Thanks for going with me. It's a big help.
I know. That's what I told you, man. I told you earlier today. I couldn't have done it without you.
You wouldn't have done it without me.
That's correct, but I'm still correct. I couldn't have done it without you.
Well, that's all that matters, being correct.
That's right. No, that was I'm just glad it was, I'll use the term easy, but I'm just glad it wasn't huge barriers with that 1,500-pound tower getting it up on the truck.
That and it didn't pour down rain on us while we were working on that part of the project, and we didn't have any mechanical difficulties.
No, other than you busting that chain thingy.
Yeah, I figured out what happened there.
What?
Well, the safety chain has the S hooks on each end of it.
Yes.
Apparently, I had it in such a bind such that I was pulling the link out of the S hook. The end link of the chain was being pulled out of the S hook by the come along.
Hey, I gotcha. I'd have to research on that. I'm using chains, chains and things on how you're, what the absolute correct way to do that, because I'm not sure I know how. Or at least if I've seen it, I don't remember.
Don't do it the way I did it.
No, no. Well, when you're standing in a precarious spot on the end, on the hitch of a trailer, and you're yanking on a 1,500-pound tower, and you're pulling on a come along you bought at a yard sale, bad things are going to happen.
I didn't get it at a yard sale. It was legitimate purchase.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm glad it went well and nothing bad happened. Well, nothing really bad happened. All right, very good, Robin. That picture, I sent that out to the group, so they're going to be able to see me wincing, pulling on that chain hoist.
Right, saw that. What about your video down that narrow lane?
Oh, no, that'll come up here. I'm going to put it up later this evening.
Roger that. Carry on. Thanks again, K4.
Yeah, very good. Who else south or east? Please come down.
K4ZHI.
Hey, we missed you last night, man. I thought you'd jump right in there on, we were over there in the east and you weren't there.
I don't remember what happened that night.
Yeah, I've had nights like that.
I mean, I don't remember the circumstances.
Yes, I know. I know. Everything going all right for you and the family?
Yeah, pretty good. Did a little technical work today. Haven't got it fixed yet on a wireless TV set.
A wireless. Oh, did you get a new one?
No, I've had it a long time. And my service went out on the internet. They got that fixed, but they didn't fix the wireless TV. I've been troubleshooting myself. Hadn't got very far with it.
Well, on your wireless connection to the Wi-Fi, do you have to put in? You do have to put in the router ID, and they find the router ID, but then you have to put in the router password. Do you not?
I'm not sure. I've been reading through the stuff, and it gets me tied around in circles.
Oh yeah, I know the drill. But I know in my case, the wireless feed, it has to engage, obviously through the router, which it sees in the Wi-Fi setup, and then you have to do the password to get into the router so that the TV thingy knows what to talk to.
I think they got it rigged so you can't do it on your own, so you can't steal it.
Whose system is it?
TDS.
Ah, okay, yeah, TDS. That's the one that comes over phone lines.
Yeah. I got my phone service and my internet service with them. It's working fine.
Ah, okay, I got you. I don't know anything about that. Well, very good, James. Good to have you in there. That was James That's Whiskey Alpha 4 Zulu Hotel Indy, and he's here in Mount Juliet. Excellent signal. Wrestling with his TV Wi-Fi arrangement. Anybody knows anything about that with TDS, send him an email. I think he's good on QRZ there. Who else? East, please come in.
Kilo India 4 SIB.
Hey, Richard, what's going on?
Not a great deal of nothing. Just hanging out up here at the house, listening to y'all talk about digital.
Oh, yeah, well, like I said, I told somebody, I don't know, some weeks or months ago, I said, if I owned a D-Star radio, or in this case, even now that I have Fusion, but I wasn't, real hot to trot to use it, but if you got that mode and you want to use it, to sit back and wait for somebody else to, talk to, it ain't going to happen. Just like we did here, Richard, as you well know. Getting up in the air and starting a net and saying, come on, talk to me, man. You force people to talk to you now. You know what I mean?
Rattle the bushes and the chain link fences. Like, wake up and get on something.
No, it's very true. I mean, it's. I noticed that with DMR. I have a DMR handheld. I have, and it's. I haven't used it much because there just didn't seem to be any activity at all. And there's no activity because nobody's having a regular simplex net. I mean, if I want to talk to Chicago, I can get on Echolink and do that. I mean, that's a no-brainer. And I can do that with it, with just my computer alone, or I can hook up I can make a node, which I do have a node register with Echolink, but I haven't used it in years. But you know what I'm saying? To do a simplex net is really the entry level to get everybody in the neighborhood to be talking and doing something else. Because look what this has turned into, from simplex 2 meters to 2 meter sideband to 10 meter, 10 meter sideband. And it's just a lot of other things going on, like talking about now DMR and Fusion and D-Star.
All the above. I've tinkered with Echolink some, and it was okay, but I'm tickled pink just doing what we're doing. Just local folks having a good time doing what we do. And I'm sure the same can be said for DMR and Echo and Fusion and all that. You talk to people at a distance, and you can also talk to people local and yada, yada, yada. But y'all have fun, and I'll see you right here and talk to you when you get here.
Oh, yeah, well, we're not going away. Believe me, I ain't going away. You can't get rid of me that quick.
Not going to try. Appreciate what you're doing. Take care of yourself. Talk to you when I can. KI4SIB back to net. 73 to everybody.
All right, Richard, we'll catch you later. It was Richard, Kilo India 4, Sierra India Bravo, and he's over in just west of downtown Lebanon. I was just saying again, somebody said to me, they gave the guy's name. I was talking to Robin yesterday in the truck, and he said, blah, blah, and he gave the last name, and I went, who? He goes, and he gave me his call, like, oh, good. I didn't know the guy's last name. I've been talked to him dozens, if not hundreds of times. I didn't remember his last name at all because I think about first names and calls. Anyway, who else we got? Yeah, we don't care about no stinking last names either. Who else we got? East, please come in.
KN4LXA. KD4KDJ.
All right, I got 3 in there almost simultaneously. If you will hold on, Ed, and let's see, Jimmy, you hold on 2, and I think I heard who else I hear in there? It was another K call.
KD4KDJ.
KD4KDJ, how are you?
I'm fine. I'll let you go ahead and get to him. I just seen you come up on the computer a while ago that you had a net here, and I know Eddie over at Mount Juliet. I'm in Smyrna, but go ahead and get back to him. My name's Ken.
Yeah, very good, Ken. Yeah, I know where you are down in Smyrna. I think we talked before. Yeah, no, we're doing fine. What antenna do you use down there, Ken?
What was that?
I said, what antenna do you use down there?
You know what? I can't remember what it's called. It's a dual band vertical, of course. I can't remember what it is, but it's really made for a repeater. I got it from another fella. Is it working good?
Oh, yeah, no, it's doing fine to me.
Okay, I'm not sure where you're located, but I'm actually on the east side of Smyrna, but west of Murfreesboro. I'm pretty much close to the line.
Oh, yeah, no, you're almost well, not due south of me, but see, I'm in Mount Juliet, so you're actually an easy trip for me because I'm in a good elevation and a good antenna. So you're like 50 over here.
Come in.
Yeah, go ahead, Richard.
I'm hearing him here in Lebanon, just fine.
Ah, very good. You're getting heard all the way up in Lebanon, just a little bit west of Lebanon.
Okay, I remember Richard. He used to be on the 9-1 repeater with us.
Yeah, that's right. He's a repeater monger. All right, very good, Ken. Good to have you in there. That was Ken in Smyrna. That's Kilo Delta 4, Kilo Delta Juliet, and he's in Smyrna with a good signal. LXH, Jimmy, how you doing? How's that antenna working out?
Hey, Paul, this is KM for LXH. Well, it seems to be working okay, but I was recording signal strength between what you're showing on the video feed and what I'm seeing on my S meter, and like Eddie W4 EDX, I believe it was. He was 60 dB to you and 40 dB to me. And let's see, Joey KN4PQX, you had him at F7, and I did not have a copy at all. And let's see, one more here. Robin K4IDC, you had him at 55 dB, and I had him at F7.
Yeah, you're going to see some difference now. Robin and Joey are right next door to one another, and they're at the Percy, on land just above the Percy Priest Lake. So they're at relatively low elevation, and I think you're going to see a big difference. I think you said your mast, the base of your antenna, was at 20 feet now?
No, it's close. It's 15 feet off the ground. It's just above the roof, but below the peak of the roof.
I'm telling you that an additional 10 feet, I bet you a lot of things would change. By the way, in case of Joey PQX, he's got a limited, his antenna is not in a great spot, and it's got not too much. Well, he had good power, but again, I don't think you're going to hear him very well, being he's at such a low elevation.
Okay, well, I'm thinking about putting it on top of the tower, so that'll add another 30-something feet to it.
Well, I think you'll be shocked at how much difference that makes. I mean, really shocked. Like I have been shocked by. I'm at about 30 feet above the ground, but again, I've already got elevation over most people on the net, at least here in middle of Mount Juliet, Wilson County.
Yeah, well, that's true. I was surprised when I got this antenna. I didn't realize it was essentially fiberglass tubing with a brass metal radiator inside. Is that the way the diamond is constructed?
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't realize that. I thought I just assumed it was a standard aluminum tube radiator like other verticals.
No, this is it's really. And do you feel like it's nicely constructed though? The outside fiberglass.
Yeah, the fiberglass seems pretty good, and the joints seem pretty tight. So, although I had to slide that rod inside of it up and down several times to get it to poke out, so I could connect it to the other rod.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, that takes a little bit of just practice. You have to start. I forget how you did that. You started at the top, didn't you? Wasn't that the deal?
Well, I actually assembled the two halves, the top half and the bottom half, and then joined them when I got outside. I didn't want to, spend any more time outside than I had to.
Yeah. Well, you don't realize how big 24 feet is until you start putting that antenna on.
Yeah, no, it was really big. So I don't know. I guess it's doing okay right now, but it just needs more ice.
Yeah, you're close to 60 over now. I don't remember what you were before. Do you recall?
I think it was 55, 52.
Okay. Well, now, again, I think you're going to be surprised when you get the heights a little higher. Hopefully, that does indeed have the same performance as the diamond. By the way, anybody who's listening, we're talking about this because he just bought a new 24-foot antenna that's made by a company called Harvest. And they use the same model numbers as the diamond does, the X700. And it's the X700 from Diamond costs about $390, and the X700 from Harvest costs about what, $220? Was that what the number? $225?
$213 plus shipping.
Yeah, there you go. $225 or whatever, $230. And so that's a heck of a difference. And if I don't know, I'd love to see it. What are you doing tomorrow?
Nothing much. I'll be pulling my hair out on DMR.
Okay. I still got to get you that thing, man. I got to write that down. Silly of me. All right, very good. That was Jimmy. He's in north of kind of North Mount Juliet, out near north of the high school and south of 70 Lebanon Road. Good to have you in there, and I hope that antenna does work out for you. Ed down in Shake Rag, what's up? KD4ZGY. I lost Ed. He checked in. Maybe he'll come back. Anybody else south or east?
Or Victor Charlie, Moby. KE4TW.
All right, I got N4 Victor Charlie, and I got KE4TWI. N4 Victor Charlie, how you doing tonight?
Yeah, doing pretty good. I'm here in Hendersonville, and I'm parked under a lot of line noise, but I was here in the Smyrna station, S7 near Mobile, real good station, or real good signal. Anyway, doing good, and just thought I'd chime in here and reading the mail here for a while. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're here for a while. That's the problem, isn't it? I give somebody to listen to anyway. Hear people on the air.
Yeah, okay. You going to one of the other frequencies after this or not? Over.
Yeah, we're going to be on that 144-240 after we do. Hopefully, it won't be too long, but it'll be right after the net after we do the buy, sell, swap, and swindle net.
Okay, well, I may or may not be home by that time, but okay. All right, well, carry on and have a good evening. And for Victor Charlie, Mobile.
Very good. That was in November for Victor Charlie Allen, and he's Mobile in Hendersonville. Good signal. Of course, it's easy right across the river here from Mount Juliet. Wes, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Just sitting back here listening, having a good time. Everything's okay out here in the east of Wilson County.
Yeah, well, you were just taking it easy while me and Rob were out building character yesterday.
Yeah, I heard you were on the road. I thought you guys were back early, but you told me y'all got back at midnight.
Yeah, we rolled into the. I think I rolled into the house at 2 minutes over, 2 minutes after midnight.
There's a lot of cigarettes and coffee, but I let everybody make it safe.
Yeah, between the fog and the rain, and there was some road construction issues. I forget whether it was on 81 or 40, but yeah, whenever it's well, you know what I'm talking about. When there's fog and rain simultaneously, and you're dragging I forget how big that trailer was, 20 feet or whatever it is, with dragging 2 tons behind his truck. It's precarious all the time.
Yep, I bet it was fun. All right, KE4TW.
All right, very good. Good to have you in there, Wes. That was Wes. He's near what do you call it, Watertown. Good signal. And of course, he's working. Are you working off the tower, are you?
Yep. 10 elements pointed your way.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I would expect your work. All right, very good. That was Wes with his 10-element beam pointed in our general direction. Anybody else east? KM4HQE. Stan, what's up?
Same old, man. How about you?
Oh, it's not the same. I know you're working hard on that challenge.
Yeah, it's closer, but not quite there yet.
Hey, listen, the first 150 are the easy ones.
And the last 275 are going to be hard.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. This was as Silent Key I used to know, and down in Florida, he jokingly would say, he was talking about the DXCC, and he says, yeah, I got, I worked halfway through the DXCC and didn't get it done, so I started over. Of course, he was joking. He was quite a character anyway. All right, Stan, good to have you in there. You're copying anybody different today that you noticed him before?
I couldn't hear the fellow that had the clone hearing all that well. I can hear him, but not real great. And you had Earl in there earlier, KE4DZ.
Oh, that's right. I did hear him. I heard his voice. I forgot to ask you. Earl, are you still there? By the way, that was Stan. Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Quebec Echo, and he's over in just north of downtown Lebanon. Earl, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, Paul.
All righty. I heard you in there, and I forgot that you were there. I think I had 3 or 4 people simultaneously.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I was, well, there for me, I thought maybe my mic went bad or something like that over here. But no, everything's kind of soggy over here in the big city of Norrie. But I guess it might be like that all over the middle Tennessee, the way they got them there flash flood warnings up until, well, I guess they're over with now.
Oh, yeah. It was soggy where we were, and of course, it was raining, I guess, all through the Tennessee and Virginia, and I guess into Georgia as well. So I don't know what, I didn't follow the weather patterns, but man, I haven't seen that much water in a long time.
Yeah, it kind of makes me wish I had my project of rainwater harvesting set up over here. But anyway, I'll deal with that another day, I guess. Better late than never. Anyway, I'll let it go at that, Paul. Be good, be careful, and save a tree out there on the net. Take you for it easy.
Yeah, very good, Earl. By the way, that was Earl, and he's in Noreen, over there east of the Cedars of Lebanon Park. That's Kilo Echo 4 Delta Echo Zulu. Anybody else east? Going for late check-ins, please come in.
November 4, Victor Tango, India.
Were you just hanging out to be last, were you, Charlie?
I love coming in last. My favorite pastime.
Yeah, very good. Well, you never know. Somebody may come in after you, and you won't be last.
If you're listening, don't check it. Just hold on. There's always the next time.
Yeah, that's right. We'll catch them on the. They'll have to come in on the procrastinators net, which starts after midnight.
Okay, yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good. And I didn't know you started with North. I mean, I've been on since 10 minutes after the net started. That must have been a quick North.
It was. There was only a couple people in the north sector that checked in, and we moved right along.
Well, I heard you talking about the trip to Virginia. That sounds fun. I'm sure that was cool. Get that tower. I hear Robin sometimes when he's mobile, with his mobile setup, but I don't hear him when he's in wherever he's just operating at his house or wherever he was operating today.
Yeah. Wait, did you get a chance to see the picture of the well, of me, but the tower we picked up?
Not yet, but I'll take a look at that. I have the email pulled up. I'll take a look at that.
Yeah, it's while it's busted, it's still a 70-foot extended crank-up tower. It's quite impressive, and at 1,500 pounds, it's not something you just lug around easily.
Are you gonna try and fix it?
Oh no, right. That's Robin's going to be doing that. That's his whole project, was dragging that thing down from Virginia, and he's going to have to. It's got some bent parts to it and a little bit of damage, and he's going to have to put it back together. And it's a tower that needs a nice, solid concrete base for sure, 70-foot tall.
Yeah, definitely. And you guys were talking about the digital modes, like the Fusion and the D-Star. I have DMR. That's the only thing that I have for digital. I don't have Fusion or anything like that. I have DMR. I can get something set up for DMR if we want to do that. I have a hotspot, or I'm building a hotspot. I have a guy in Australia that I talked to on Echo, and he shipped me some parts to build that. So I'm going to build a hotspot, and I'll have a DMR set up.
Yeah, very good. Well, I would hope that somebody who's got a reasonably good simplex setup could do a DMR net, because that would be the ideal thing. I mean, truthfully, almost anybody can check into one of the nodes, like a DMR node here locally, or like you said, on the hotspot and have a net. But I think I would prefer, and most people would prefer in radio, to actually do it directly on simplex, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm not even sure how DMR actually works. Can you do it simplex on that mode?
Absolutely. Nothing stopping you on any of those one of those radio frequency modes at all. Nothing.
Well, never mind. Guess I'll have someone else do it because I don't have a great setup for simplex. I will try and get a better antenna up. I mean, my antenna works fine right now, but I will try and get a diamond or something vertical set up on my roof, or at least this antenna on my roof.
Yeah, very good. Well, here's the deal, though, Charlie. You can use that DMR radio with the current antenna you have, and you'll be doing pretty darn good.
Yeah, and I have the adapters I need for that. But I just have a hotspot that I'll have working. That's a project that I'm working on. But I just have a little Anytone mobile radio that has DMR and analog.
Oh, well, you'll do fine then. You'll do great. I mean, if we can get somebody who wants to do a DMR net, that'd be great.
Yeah, and again, DMR is not the most popular of the digital modes. That's probably not going to be, might not be something that comes to fruition. But sitting here watching the Titans game, it's on halftime right now, but I'm proud of what's happening.
Well, so what's the score at this point at halftime?
It's 14-13 Titans, and they're playing New England at Gillette Stadium.
Let's see. This isn't the playoffs. No, it is the playoffs, isn't it?
Yeah, this is wild card round 1. Titans just barely made it to the playoffs by beating the Texans in Week 17. But this is the playoffs. This is the first game of the playoffs.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, it's funny how sometimes the less the less esteemed team can do well against a powerhouse like New England.
Yeah, well, New England's not even that great this year. They are good, but they're not as good as they have been in previous years. But the Titans are. I think they have a better will to win. I think is what's happening. And Derrick Henry, their run game is really, really strong.
Wow, that's cool. All right, well, very good, Charlie. Let me move on. It was November 4, Victor Tango, India. If you didn't jot that down, he got a vanity call. It's November 4, Victor Tango, India, and it's Charlie, and he's here in North Mount Juliet, up towards the river. We'll put a note out about that DMR and D-Star and Fusion for come up with some common frequencies so people who want to do that simplex. All righty, well, who else north or east or late check-ins?
KB9 RKK.
Did you guys have a meeting tonight?
Yeah, just got home. I tried checking in from the East Mobile, but I got stomped on.
Yeah, that was our plan all along.
Nope. It was the RF. I was in too low of a spot.
Yeah, I know. Everything going well? Did they talk about, I know it's a sore subject, but just give me a yes or no answer. Are they hoping to get that repeater back up?
It is back up. It's been up all day.
Oh, okay, because it wasn't up, I think, yesterday.
So I think sometime yesterday later it was, but I didn't check it till today. But yeah, it's been up, and today was all about digital stuff.
Oh, cool. What did they cover?
DMR, D-Star, and System Fusion, and basically what's going on is it looks like DMR is becoming the most popular because of low cost of entry. But around here, there's more Fusion repeaters than anything else.
Right. Who gave their presentation?
Well, Michael did that part. It was just the intro. And then next time, Bill's going to go over D-Star with, some topology, and then we're supposed to do DMR and Fusion. Michael, has both Fusion. He uses Fusion. He's got more Fusion equipment, but uses DMR more often.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, considering there's a Fusion repeater there.
Correct. And yeah, he says he's got more money invested in it, but he ends up using the other one more because I guess there's more people.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, that's going to be, I guess, the battle of the modes, because I don't know if they can all. I guess they all could survive. I don't really know. I mean, it's only most of it's DMR. Like you said, DMR Fusion, D-Star, and which one did I leave out? The Fusion, the D-Star, DMR. What's the fourth one?
There's NXDN, and then there's also P25. So there's actually like 5, 3 big ones and 2 minor ones.
Yeah, I don't even know anybody who's got P25 or NXDN.
The P25, there's one repeater that's up in Gallatin, but with that being said, there's 0 D-Star repeaters now around here.
Yeah, that's what I heard, and I find that a little weird.
Agreed.
Well, I don't have D-Stars, so it wouldn't trouble me if there were none, or if they were 100, it wouldn't matter to me. I don't think really, but I always thought that D-Star was not that it was overrated, but it seemed to be overhyped and fairly expensive to get into, at least in the initial 5-10 years.
Yeah, and that's because for basically only Icon was out of the major brands the only one. Now Kenwood's jumped in on there. The problem with it is it's a proprietary chip, so you got to pay for that. The standard's open, but the chip to run it is proprietary, so it's kind of proprietary the way in the end.
But the newer modes, they're technically on paper they're supposed to be better in some ways, but one of the things we talked about today that's kind of unique to D-Star is it works a lot like your cell phone in that it'll find you. I don't even know where you're at, but if I set up my radio right, it will find you as soon as you key up on any repeater anywhere in the world.
Oh yeah, absolutely, because each device has its own IP address, correct?
Basically, yeah. And if it knows where you're at, so that way I can send you a message. Basically, you can be in another country and it will specifically seek you out. Whereas on the other ones, you got to meet in a room somewhere. You have to pre-plan it.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's good. I don't mean to knock D-Star by this statement, but you would have hoped if it was a great system, it would have been, at this point, it would have been the grand leader of all digital modes.
And it isn't, and I think for all of them, what Charlie asked is one of the biggest problems. A lot of people don't realize you can use it for Simplex.
Oh, that's right, and people just don't. Well, they don't think about it much, but there's no reason why you can't. In fact, everybody seemed to be really concerned about no repeaters, and you go, so what? Use it yourself. That's what we have radios, and we build antennas and make antennas and save up our money for antennas, and so what's holding you back?
Exactly. And I'll get off the technical thing, but the last point is on the D-Stars half the bandwidth of the other two. So just like sideband, it technically can go further.
Oh yeah, I got you. Well, I hope that's true. All right, very good, Frank. I'm gonna work. Like I said, we're gonna put up some notices and see if people want to gather up under the D-Star Fusion DMR battle, the battle of the bands here. Hey, that sounds fun. The battle of the bands. We used to have those. Anyway, that was Frank. That's KB9 Kilo Bravo 9 Romeo Kilo. Just I think got home from the WC4AR club meeting, and good to hear you in there, Frank. And thanks for that information too. At least that I knew some of that. But anyway, anybody else late check-in? Please come down. All right, lollygaggers, lurkers, sandbaggers, scanner listeners, SDR donglers, internet lurkers. I don't think there are any on Echolink. We don't have a connection there, unless somebody had an Echolink node that they were monitoring this, and I thought about doing that. And preppers and the end time survivalists, and we're going to include this time the flat earthers, which I proved there's no such thing as a flat earth because my signal only goes out about 65 miles because of the curvature of the earth. Anybody else, please check in now.
KN4QCJ.
Hey, JD, how you doing?
Good. Got my radio hooked back up, so it's good to hear you guys again.
Yeah, it's been so long. It's QCJ. Do I have that right?
I forget it half the time, Bob. It's KN4. They got me QCJ. KN4 QCJ.
Yeah, I got it. By the way, I will bring that bell tag with me on the next breakfast.
Cool. Yeah, I look forward to seeing that.
Yep. I can find it. I also have a picture of my dad and the work crew in the test chamber for one of those Agena engines.
Yeah, that'd be neat to see. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. I always thought it was cool when I was a kid. I still think it's cool, but it's kind of old school, huh?
Well, like I told you at breakfast, I want to be able to hold it in my hand and say I actually touched a part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, very good. Everything else going all right for you?
Oh, everything's going good. I was kind of in and out throughout the evening. It sounded like you have a lot of check-ins. That's great.
Yeah, it looks like I think you were number 28. So yeah, it's rolling right along. We had 29 the last two nets in a row. So I don't know, and even today there's a few people who have not checked in who routinely do, but it's kind of better that way in a way. If everybody checked in, we'd be here till 11 o'clock, I think.
All right, well, I'll let you finish up there. I appreciate you letting me call in. Have a good night. KN4 QCJ out.
Yeah, very good, JD. It was good to have you in there. That's JD, and he is in Lebanon or near Lebanon. I'm not sure exactly where you are over there, but it's KN4. It's Kilo November 4, Quebec, Charlie Juliet. Any other late check-ins before we move on? All righty, we came over 28 check-ins on that mode. We're going to go to the buy, sell, swap, and swindle net. And anybody else got anybody have anything that they want? We're going to start with that. We usually don't get many, but anybody want anything? All right, then we'll move along to. Does anybody have anything for sale? I got one thing. Does anybody else have anything for sale? Guess it's a whopping no. I don't have the model number in front of me, but if anybody has an interest in the box, used once, it's one of the Radio Shack wireless microphone arrangements that you have the microphone and a little thing on your hip, and you hook up the receiver over there on an amplifier, and it's usually for public address systems, that kind of stuff. But I've got it sitting here, and any reasonable offer would be accepted. I'll get that model number out of the net here after the net. Anybody else got something they want to sell? All righty, then we're going to move on to the 144.240 upper sideband net, right? Unless there's with any objections, or hold your peace. We're going over to 144.240. Very good. That's where we're going to right there. QS line to that frequency. This is Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey, the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net on 144.240 upper sideband, starting from the north. Please come now. KB9 RKK, nice strong signal. Who else north? Please come in. From the west, then, please come in.
November 4, Delta Juliet Tango.
Ah, good signal in there, Don. November 4 Delta Juliet Tango. Who else west? Which orientation do you have on your antenna there, Mike? Okay, that must be good. Your audio is good, but it's muffled. It's got that, like I think you said, talking through a sleeping bag.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's good. You're fine. I'm just, you can see that there's a difference. So, all right, who else west? Please come in. Going to the south, K4PEW with the Mount Juliet Simplex. And who's come from the south to 40?
Kilo November 4, Mike Papa Victor.
You sound good in there, Terry. Terry in Murfreesboro. Who else next? South, please come in. Over to the east of Mount Juliet.
Kilo Echo 4, Delta Echo Zulu.
All right, I got Earl. Are you on your vertical, Earl?
Yeah. I switched over to my beam. It's shorter than my ground plane. I thought I'd put my beam up there to you and see if that was any better on sideband than the vertical or the ground plane.
Well, you're doing pretty good. You're doing about S5 to me, bouncing around, hitting S5. So you're not doing too bad. I just was wondering. I didn't remember how you sounded last time. All right, very good. Who else we got to east or south? Please come down.
Kilo Golf 4, Mike India Zulu.
Hey, there you go, Kevin. You sound great. Anybody else east or south? Any late check-ins? Any early check-ins for next Saturday? All righty. Well, then we'll go backwards here. We got Kevin in Lebanon. That's Kilo Golf 4 Mike India Zulu. Very nice signal, by the way, Kevin. Kilo Echo 4 Delta Echo Zulu. By the way, Kevin, which antenna are you using?
The same.
Okay, that's probably the reason. It's pointing toward me, I imagine.
No, it's over there towards Earl.
So you don't like me no more.
No, I figured south was the last place you left, so I figured that's where I was supposed to be pointing.
Oh, no, that's good. No, that's fine. I hear you just fine, though, even though you're pointing southward. All right, where was it? Oh, yeah, Terry in Murfreesboro. Kilo November 4, Mike Papa Victor. And Michael in Bellshire. Kilo Mike 4 Yankee Romeo Foxtrot. And November 4 Delta Juliet Tango. Don over in Bon Aqua. And Kilo Bravo 9 Romeo Kilo Kilo over in Northwest Wilson, and it's really Mount Juliet, I guess. And it's Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey myself, and that makes I didn't even count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 7 of us tonight. A little light, but whoever shows up is who shows up. We're not doing a contest station here, so I don't worry about the numbers too much. And I can, even though I don't worry about it at all, we still have, like I said, the last 3 nets we've had 29, 29, and 28, which any net would be envious of that kind of a response on a simplex thing. It's envious in some repeater nets to have that many. So I'm just, I guess I'm grateful. I'm grateful that everybody's interested. It's obviously they're not interested in me. I just facilitate the net. So anyway, you guys have a great night. I'm going to close her down, and we'll catch y'all later. K4PEW. I'll be over on FM in a minute.
One more check-in.
Hey, who's that?
It's Dennis, W9BOQ. My knee gave out. I had to go in the house and ice it. I just got back out here.
Man, oh man, listen. You're going to have to stay off the net. Let's see, with your hard drives, your speakers, now your knee.
I know. I jumped off of a ladder 2 steps instead of 1 today, and I tweaked it. It's good though. I can walk. It just all of a sudden it'll give out, but I'm good. I made it though. I checked in.
Yeah, you did. You actually came in as the last lollygagger check in on the 2-meter sideband.
I know it, but I made it. How's my signal?
Oh, it's very good.
Yeah, you're 10 over.
Yeah, that's about where you are now. I'm kind of squinting at the result here, but yeah, it looks like 10 over.
All right, I'll see you back over on 2 meters or on FM. KE4TWI.
Hey, Wes. Very good. I got you in there too. You were delayed getting over there?
Yeah. I had to switch over coax. You're about an S7 on my meter. I'm curious, what am I sounding like over there? KE4TWI.
Well, you're not budging the S meter, but your audio is very good. I mean, it's very easily, it's no problem. It's, what they'd say is armchair copy, but just that there's not a whole lot of signal.
All right, you're sounding good here, KE4TWI.
Very good. That was West, KE4TWI down near Watertown. And that makes a grand total of, what did I just say? 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9. And also the other one was Whiskey 9 Bravo, Oscar, Quebec, who had a health issue that broke into his time on the radio. So that's 9. It did pretty good. Anyway, you guys have a good night. I'm moving over to the FM now, so K4PW.
And there's my ground plane from the beam, KE4DZ.
Well, you're doing actually a little better, Earl, on the ground plane than you were on the other. You were bumping up against S5 on the previous time, and this time you're bumping over S5 on the transmission.
Okay. Well, the beam, it's only about 12 feet off the ground, give or take, and my ground plane I'm on now, it's about 25, give or take, feet off the ground.
Ah, okay. Well, this one, for whatever the differences are, what you're on now is better than the beam, for what we got.
Better here too, Earl. Me too, Murfreesboro. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Elevation is on the way. Just ain't got here yet. Get a skyhook maybe next month. KE4DZ.
Well, that's what the net's all about. I mean, not just the fellowship and the camaraderie and it's not supposed to be a mutual admiration society. And as long as we can help each other understand how our antennas work and what works best and what we got to do to make it better, that's what's important, I think. Anyway, I'll catch you later, and I'm jumping off and killing the net now. Bye-bye.
Good job there, Paul. Ken, for you.